All right, welcome back to Montpellier for day 2 of the 2022 Women's European Baseball Championships. We're about to get started. Today's matchup features Netherlands against Great Britain. Before we'll give you the lineups, we'll pause for the national anthems. Bienvenue à Montpellier pour le deuxième jour de ce tournoi, les championnats d'Europe 2022. Aujourd'hui, notre deuxième match entre Pays-Bas et Angleterre. We'll start with the lineups. For the visiting Dutch, batting first, playing right field, Esther Malpjard. Batting second, playing left field, Sherry Stravers. Batting third, playing shortstop, Sasha Igas. Batting fourth, playing first base, Anouk Vergunst. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Kara Gendron Van. Batting sixth, playing third base, Magali De Roy. Batting seventh, catching today, Natalie Schindler. Batting eighth, playing center field, Wendy Blatt. And rounding out the lineup, batting ninth, playing second base, Nikki Gromans. So yesterday's game between the Netherlands and France was a nail-biter. The French took home the initial contest of the tournament by a final score of 6-5, winning in walk-off fashion in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Dutch will surely look to rebound today against Great Britain. Great Britain won their first game easily yesterday by the final score of 27-10 over Czech Republic. And Great Britain takes the field. The British defense looks a bit like this. Catching, Caitlin Frank. At first base, Amy Trask. At second base, Kelly Wright. At shortstop, Dora Lau. At third base, Minka Malone. In left field, Clary Stratliff. In center field, Gabriella Sassoli. In right field, Rose Banji. And on the mound today for the English, Laura Hirai. Today's weather, as you can see, sunny skies, no clouds at all, and a temperature of 31 degrees Celsius or 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Alors aujourd'hui à Montpellier, nous avons un ciel bleu avec 31 degrés de température. Hier, Angleterre a gagné leur match 27-10 contre la République tchèque. Et les Pays-Bas ont perdu 6-5 en 7e manche contre la France. Le match aujourd'hui devrait être assez serré, on espère. Avec une victoire, les Anglaises peuvent se qualifier pour la finale. Et les Hollandaises ont besoin d'une victoire pour rester dans le tournoi, on va dire. So, today we have something interesting right off the bat. A left-handed catcher for Great Britain. We don't see that too much in baseball. Great Britain's catcher, Caitlin Frank, left-handed catcher. And we're about to get started here. So thanks for joining us again on the second day of the WBSC European Championship. We're live and ready to get going. Batting leadoff for the Netherlands, number 13, Esther Malipard. And the first pitch is down and away for ball one. And that pitch is in there for the first strike of the morning. Yes, it is morning. It's 11 a.m. These first games were meant to start at 12 noon. However, they were all pushed forward to 11 a.m. due to the warm temperatures here in Montpellier. And that pitch is down and away for ball two. 2-1 is the count. And it was a good thing yesterday that the first game started at 11 a.m. and not 12 noon because it lasted about 4 hours, as you can imagine with such a high-scoring affair. And the 2-1 pitch is down and away for ball three. So the count runs to 3-1 on the Dutch leadoff hitter, who looks at her third base coach. And the British righty shakes once, shakes twice, and time is called by the Dutch leadoff hitter. So good job by Malipard, making her presence felt in the batter's box. And the 3-1 pitch is in there for strike two. Malipard was on her way to first base. She thought that pitch was inside, but it looked good. It looked like a strike. So the count runs full. Compte plein. And that pitch is swung on and missed for strike three and the first out of the afternoon. So good job rebounding by Hirlai, the British pitcher. And that brings to the batter's box the left-handed hitter, the left fielder, Sherry Stravers. Stravers did a good job yesterday of putting the ball in play and getting on base for the Dutch. And that pitch is taken for strike one on the inside part of the plate. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and lined into center field for the first base hit of the afternoon. Sorry, the morning for the Dutch. As Stravers reaches first with a line drive single to center field. Now stepping up to the plate, the shortstop for Holland today, Sasha Egas. The Dutch third base coach flashes the signs to the batter and the runner at first base. We'll see if Stravers is moving on the pitch. If you're the Dutch here, you want to score in this first inning and set the tone. Especially after a close loss yesterday. You want to come back strong in the first inning. That pitch is lined to shortstop, caught, and thrown back to first for the double play. And that gets the British off the field and into the dugout. A good play by the shortstop to catch and throw onto first to complete the double play. So after a half an inning, no runs, one hit, one runner left on base. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back for the bottom half of the first inning. On the mound for the Dutch, Zoe Lagweg, left-handed pitcher. Doing the catching, Natalie Schindler. At first, Anouk Vergunst. At second, Nikki Gromans. Playing shortstop today, Sasha Egas. At third base, Magali De Roy. In left field, Sherry Stravers. In center, Wendy Blatt. And in right field, Esther Malipard. And stepping to the plate for Great Britain, the leadoff hitter and also today's pitcher, Laura Hirai. And the Dutch infield gathers on the mound to support their starting pitcher, Zoe Lagweg. So Hirai doing it all today, throwing a scoreless first inning and leading off for Great Britain. And she takes the first pitch for a strike, called by the Czech home plate umpire. I'm anticipating a low-scoring game today. Both these teams need a win for different reasons. And that pitch is just a bit high for ball one. It looks like both pitchers control the zone pretty well and pound the zone, throwing lots of strikes. Yesterday, we saw a strong Dutch defense, which kept them in the game into the last inning against France. And that ball is lined to short, picked, and thrown onto first for the first out of the bottom of the first inning. And yeah, exactly. The Dutch defense is pretty strong, especially in the infield. Vergunst at first base has a good glove. She made a lot of picks yesterday. And Great Britain, obviously coming off a big win against the Czech Republic, coming into this game with a lot of confidence, knowing a win today would qualify them for the final. And that pitch is in there for strike one. And the second pitch is in there for a strike as well to Dora Lau, the British shortstop. So good job by Lagwig so far, painting the outside corner. So lefty pitcher throwing fastballs away to the righty hitter. That ball's going to tail, and that's a tough pitch to hit on the outside corner. And that pitch is fouled back and out of play into the stands. So no balls, two strikes. One out here in the bottom of the first inning. And that pitch is high for ball one. So I'm going to try to stay in English for this first game between Great Britain and Netherlands. Most of our viewers online are English speakers. That pitch is swung on and driven, but foul down the right field line. So good job by Lau spoiling that outside fastball and staying alive. And that pitch is down for a ball. So the count runs to 2-2. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and lofted into center field. And the center fielder camps under it and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. And you can hear those Dutch fans. They came down for the tournament, maybe vacation or a combination of both, to Montpellier. Montpellier is known to be a hot spot for Dutch tourists without the baseball tournament, and now with this baseball tournament, we're seeing a lot of tourists making the trip down from Holland to the south of France. And in steps Minika Malone, the three-hitter and the third baseman for Great Britain. Malone is from the U.S. Virgin Islands. And that pitch is taken on the inside corner for strike one. So one ball and one strike. She certainly makes her presence felt in the batter's box, does Malone. And that pitch is swung on and missed for strike two. Good outside fastball from Lagwig, tailing away from the batter. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down here in the bottom of the first. And that ball is inside. So a good take by Malone with 2 strikes. And that pitch is swung on and missed. A high fastball gets Malone for the 3rd out of the inning. So after 1 complete, the score here in Montpellier: Great Britain 0, Netherlands 0. We'll be right back. C'est toi qui as fait. Ouais, c'est pas mal.
T'aimes bien?
Ouais, c'est cool.
Tu me dis si t'as une phrase, je te fais un petit peu.
J'ai cliqué, fallait pas. C'est la 35. Non, c'est les autres. At bat for Netherlands, Anu Verhoes. Ouais. Si tu veux faire des commentaires par rapport à l'image c'est celle-ci. Celle qu'on diffuse, c'est tout le temps celle-ci. Ok, ça va. C'est le frappeur d'après.
Welcome back to Montpellier. Stepping into the box for the Dutch, the number 4 hitter, Anouk Vergunst. Yesterday against France, Vergunst tallied 2 hits and 3 runs batted in for the Dutch. And the first pitch is up and in to the Dutch cleanup hitter. On the mound for Great Britain is Laura Hirai, who threw a scoreless first inning. And that ball is inside for ball 2. Looked like a curveball. Good take by Vergunst. And that pitch is down and away for ball 3. So it looks like Great Britain do not want to give Vergunst anything to hit. The idea being that a walk is better than an extra base hit. And here in Montpellier, an extra base hit is definitely a possibility, especially for someone like Vergunst. Any ball into the outfield will roll, especially in the gaps, and could end up winding up in a triple or inside the park home run. And the 3-0 pitch is in there for a strike. So the count runs to 3 balls and 1 strike. After Vergunst would be Kara van Genderen. And that pitch is down and away for ball 4. So the Dutch have their leadoff hitter on base. A good start to the inning for the Orange. So now batting is Van Henderen, today's designated hitter for Holland. I don't anticipate Vergunst would be stealing, but we'll see. And that pitch is down and away for ball one. The thought being that coming off of a leadoff walk and a first pitch ball, you don't want to give an easy out to the defense and help the pitcher out. You want to make her pitch, especially if she's struggling to throw strikes. Maybe work another walk. And that pitch is down and away for ball two. So the count runs to 2-0, and that's 7 out of 8 pitches this inning, 4 balls for the Great Britain pitcher. So should Van Henderden reach, Magali DeRoy would be the following hitter. DeRoy batted 9th yesterday. She moves up to the 6th spot today. And that pitch is taken down for ball 3 and gets by the catcher. And Vergoens did not see the ball, but now she's going to make it to second base. And so the Dutch have a runner at second with nobody out and a 3-0 count to Van Henderden. So after a quick first inning, Laura Hirai is having a little bit of a harder time throwing strikes in the second inning against the middle of the Dutch order. And that pitch is in there for strike one. Hirai yesterday played second base against Czech Republic. And today she's on the mound. And for these countries in particular, Great Britain and Netherlands, it can be quite difficult to play as that pitch is fouled off down the third baseline in these conditions. They're not used to playing in these temperatures. So the count runs full here with a runner at second and nobody out. Hirai stares into the catcher, again flashing multiple signs with a runner at second. And that pitch is swung on and popped up in between center and right field and caught by the center fielder for the first out of the inning. So a big out there for Great Britain. And a good job by Hirai to come back from a 3-0 count and get the batter out. So DeRoy steps into the box. The tall third baseman waits patiently with the bat on her shoulder and gets ready for the pitch, which is down and away for ball one. No advance by the runner at second. Again, there's a lefty catcher for Great Britain, so should there be a play at third, it would be interesting to see if she chooses to throw in front of the batter or behind her. You don't see that much in baseball, left-handed catchers. And that pitch is in there for strike one, so the count rounds to 1-1. Yeah, you don't see many left-handed catchers in baseball, but then again, you don't see many baseball fields without grass, so there's a first for everything, I guess. And the batter steps out and watches her third base coach flash signs. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out with a runner at second. And no score here in the top of the second inning. And the pitch is swung on and fouled back behind home plate for the second strike of the at-bat. So good job by Hirai settling in and getting back to her strike throwing ways. For any of you thinking of coming down to the stadium, France plays against Czech Republic tonight at 5 p.m. We're expecting a big crowd. Yesterday's attendance was 450, 450, and we're expecting about the same crowd tonight for day 2 of the tournament. There are food trucks, concession stands, local beer, as that pitch is grounded to the third baseman and thrown on to first for the second out of the inning, and Vergunst will move up to third base with 2 outs. So some good fundamental baseball there, protecting the plate with 2 strikes. A weak ground ball to third base, fielded cleanly by the British third baseman, thrown on to first, and advancing to third is the Dutch base runner. So now Vergunst is 90 feet away from scoring the first run of the day. And what does that do as a pitcher? Well, it changes your approach against the hitter with a runner at third instead of second, because now you're really trying to avoid any wild pitches or maybe breaking balls in the dirt. Obviously, you have to throw them once in a while, but you're more apt to throw high fastballs, especially ahead in the count, or fastballs away. And there's a high fastball taken for ball 1. And if you're Vergunst at third, you want to be super aggressive here with 2 outs, trying to just steal a run off of anything in the dirt. And that pitch is taken high for ball 2. So Natalie Schindler, today's catcher, at the plate for Holland. Ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. And that pitch is taken for a strike. The count rounds to 2 balls and 1 strike. Against France yesterday, Schindler was 0 for 2 with a run scored. So she's doing the hard work again today behind the plate. And that curveball is in there for strike 2. A good curveball from the British pitcher. Froze Schindler. Buckled her knees a little bit. So 2-2. 2 outs. Deuces wild in the second inning. And that pitch is swung on and grounded to third base again. Fielded and thrown on to first nicely for the third out of the inning. So good job by the British defense. And after 1.5, Netherlands 0, Great Britain 0. We'll be right back.
Ouais, je vais aller acheter un casque USB. Il faut un casque en USB. Un micro, mais je vais aller le chercher.
Ah, sinon, on va faire son USB. Parce que sinon, il y avait un autre casque en jack.
On en a un autre. Hein.
Après, je peux passer à carte fils.
Éventuellement,
parce qu'on a déjà le casque, autant prendre juste le double jack, ça sera moins cher.
avec le micro.
La gueule!
Tu fais un adaptateur jack.
En fait, t'as un jack qui se sépare en 2 jacks. Normalement, ça marche. Au niveau des micros, sur tout ça, je pense que c'est pas la même.
At bat for Great Britain, Louis Catlin!
Welcome back to Montpellier for the bottom half of the second inning. The leadoff hitter for Great Britain will be Chloe Scatliff. Scatliff was 1 for 3 yesterday with a run scored and a triple, and 5 runs batted in. Zoe Glagweg back on the mound for the Dutch after a scoreless first inning, which saw her throw 15 pitches, of which 10 were strikes. She struck out 1 British batter. The tall lefty finishes up her warm-up pitches, and we're just about ready to get underway.
Let's get back to the game. Make a round of applause.
Apologies for yesterday's opening game. The sound was not yet working. We had a few technical difficulties yesterday. In the second game as well, there was a power outage here in Montpellier. So the picture cut out for a good 2 innings. And that pitch is swung on and line foul down the left field line into the batting cage area. So looks like everything's working today. So welcome to you, the British fans who aren't able to make it down to sunny Montpellier. We're thinking of you. And that pitch is taken down and in. So the count runs to 1 ball and 1 strike. And that pitch is thrown behind Scatliff for ball 2. That can happen, even in men's baseball. And that pitch is swung on and grounded past the shortstop into left field for what should be scored a base hit. So, leadoff hitter on for Great Britain to get things going here in the second inning.
Great Britain, Rose Benji.
C'est bien. On va lui demander.
And that pitch is taken high and away for ball 1. So, if you're Great Britain here, do you bunt? Tough call. Tough call because Great Britain scored 27 runs yesterday. So they can obviously swing it a little bit. And that pitch is taken for ball 2. Then again, these are short games. These are 7-inning games. Remember, these are not 9-inning games. So any runs, especially early in the ball game, can set the tone for the rest of the day. Do you play small ball and move the runner over? Or do you let the batters swing it knowing that they're capable of scoring many, many runs? Alors pour les Français qui nous écoutent, si vous pensez venir au stade ce soir, sachez que il fera chaud encore. Il y aura de la bière pour se rafraîchir et la buvette est ouverte. La France jouera à 17h contre la République tchèque. Une victoire pour la France qualifiera l'équipe pour la finale. Et les Tchèques auront aussi besoin d'une victoire pour rester dans le tournoi. Donc un peu comme ce premier match, ce sera très intéressant de voir comment chaque équipe attaque cette rencontre. So runners at first and second with nobody out for Great Britain against Zoe Lagweg. The British did not opt to bunt, and it worked out. They drew the walk. And that pitch is in there for strike one on the outside corner. Yeah, and I tend to agree with that strategy of not bunting, especially coming off of a game where you scored 27 runs and where the pitcher could be struggling to throw strikes. That ball is in there. Nope, that's going to be just inside. So the count runs to 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. The score is still 0-0. And Lagweg comes set and delivers the pitch, which is down for a ball 2. Scooped nicely by the Dutch catcher. The runners will stay put. Yeah, as time is called by the British batter. And that pitch is swung on and foul tipped for the second strike of the at-bat. The count runs to 2 balls and 2 strikes to Gabby Sassoli, the British center fielder. And that pitch is taken high. So Sassoli played previously in Italy, and yesterday scored 4 runs, doubling, and also driving in 4. As that pitch is grounded to third, and the play will be made. Recovered nicely by the Dutch third baseman for the first out of the inning. So the runners move up to second and third. And stepping up to the plate now is the British second baseman, Kelly Wright. Wright yesterday against Czech Republic had 2 at-bats in which she did not record a hit. However, she did score a run and drew a walk. And that pitch is down for a ball. So Lagweg, the Dutch pitcher, is already up to 30 pitches on the afternoon in an inning and a third. However, should she record 2 more consecutive outs, she could get her team back into the dugout without giving up a run. Big lead for the British base runners as that pitch is inside, running the count to 3 balls and no strikes. So this is the inning you want if you're the British. And the third base coach is instructing her batter, be patient, don't swing at anything that's outside of the zone, wait for your pitch. And that pitch is taken high for ball 4. So a little bit of a rally here for Great Britain. And stepping to the batter's box is the number 8 hitter, the first baseman, Amy Trask. Amy sporting the number 23. That's a good number. And yesterday she was 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored and an RBI against Czech Republic.
Come on, everybody, clap your hands.
And we have our first mound visit of the day as the Dutch pitching coach quickly comes out to have a chat with his starting pitcher. Lagweg has thrown 33 pitches, of which 15 have been strikes. So you'd like to see that percentage go up a little bit. As a starting pitcher, you want to be up around 60 or 70% strikes. Easier said than done, but anything below 50% is can be quite concerning. And that pitch is taken down for ball 1. So if you're Trask here, you want to be super patient. You really want to wait for your pitch and maybe make Lagweg throw a strike before swinging it. And that pitch is inside for ball 2, almost hitting Trask. And there appears to be some action in the Dutch bullpen. Yeah, you can't leave any pitcher in too long here for obvious reasons. It's a 7-inning game. Plus, it's really hot, so fatigue can set in quite quickly. As that pitch is fouled back to the backstop here in Montpellier. A good crowd on hand. The British seem to have moved their fans down the third base line under the protective tents and shade. And the Dutch, who appear to have a few more fans, are down the first base line behind their home dugout. As that pitch is taken down for a ball. No advance by the base runners. So the count runs to 3 balls and 1 strike, 1 out with bases loaded here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Still no score. And that pitch is taken for ball 4. So the British will score their first run of the day as they all move up 90 feet on the bases loaded walk. So if you're the Dutch, how much longer can you stick with Lagweg? She's up to 38 pitches already through an inning and a third. And that pitch is in there for a strike to Caitlin Frank, the number 9 hitter today for Great Britain, who does the catching. Caitlin yesterday appeared as a pinch hitter against the Czech Republic and drew a walk. That pitch is in there for strike 2. So if Lagweg could get a strikeout here, that would be huge, limiting the damage. A strikeout, or even better, a ground ball double play. Pitcher's best friend, as they say. As a pitcher in these situations, you really want to slow the game down. Just take it one pitch at a time. Try to execute your pitch. Focus on the pitch and not the outcome that could potentially happen. That pitch is just outside for a ball. A lot of times in these situations with bases loaded or running in scoring position, the batters try to do a little bit more than what they're used to. They get a little anxious or eager to drive in the run, and you want to use that aggressiveness against the hitter. That ball is taken high for a ball, running the count full. So full count, 1 out, bottom 2nd, 1-0 Great Britain, bases loaded. Looks like this might be the last hitter for Lagweg should... nope. There's a strike. Strike 3. So 2 down. So good job by Lagway getting the big strike out there with bases loaded. But that brings to the plate the leadoff hitter for Great Britain, Laura Hirdai. In yesterday's game against Czech Republic, Laura had 1 hit and 2 RBIs. She also stole 2 bases. As that pitch is in there for a strike on the outside corner. So if Lagweg can get out of this inning having given up only 1 run, that would be a huge moral victory for the Dutch. And that pitch is taken for strike 2 on the outside corner. Great pitch by Lagweg. So 0-2 count. And the pitch is inside for a ball. That was close to hitting the British leadoff hitter. And that pitch is swung on and popped up to third base. And caught by the Dutch third baseman, who again uses 2 hands, much as in yesterday's game, and gets the Dutch back in the dugout, having given up only 1 run. So after 2, Great Britain 1, Netherlands 0 coming up to bat. We'll be right back.
Merci pour le.
Score is 1 Great Britain, 0 Netherlands. Back on the mound, number 1, Laura Hirdai.
Vous avez essayé de passer les vidéos? Une vidéo pour présenter les sponsors? Voilà, par exemple.
C'est la première fois que tu vois du baseball.
At bat, at bat, Netherlands, Wendy Black.
Et on est de retour ici à Montpellier. Début de 4e manche. 1-0 pour Great Britain. And the first pitch is taken away for ball 1. Wendy Blatt, sporting the number 27, manning center field. I know another 27 who mans center field. He plays out in Los Angeles for the Angels. And that pitch is taken for ball 2. So Blatt doing a good job working the count as the leadoff hitter here this inning for the Dutch, who are still looking for their first run of the game. And that pitch is taken for a strike on the inside part of the plate. Blatt thought that was just inside. And the 2-1 pitch is high for ball 3. So after a very high scoring game in game 1 of the tournament and a pretty high scoring game in game 2, 6-5 in 7 innings, today we've got a pitcher's duel. And just as I say that, Blatt works a leadoff walk. So you're down 1-0. We're in the 4th inning of a 7-inning game. If you're the Dutch here, do you bunt? Do you steal? Now, in this tournament, the idea of sacrifice bunting, to me, is a bit of a waste of an out, because as we've seen, the stolen base success rate is very high. It has to be up around 90%. It's just that the speed of the base runners compared to the arms of the catchers on these big fields gives a tremendous advantage to the runners when they try to steal. And that pitch is not offered at and taken for ball 1. The batter was squaring as to show bunt. Nikki Gromans, the second baseman for Holland, at bat, and she takes ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes. Runner at first, nobody out. And the pitcher steps off, as if to say, calm down, Dutch dugout. Wow, they were making some noise, but that's part of the game. And that pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. So good pitch. Good pitch by Herai. And Laura Herai is up to 37 pitches, of which 18 are strikes through 3 innings. So, pardon me, I had said we were in the top of the 4th. We're in the top of the 3rd. Troisième manche. So we had a stolen base there. Sorry, the action cut out a little bit. So Netherlands have a runner at second base with nobody out and a full count. And the pitch is in there for a strike. So Gromans yesterday against France was 0 for 3. She's looking for her first base hit of the tournament. With a runner in scoring position, that would be a big base hit, as it would tie the game. And the runner steals third base against the lefty catcher as Gromans draws the walk. So runner at first and third. Nobody out here for Great Britain.
Attack for Netherlands. Is there
So now batting is the Dutch leadoff batter.
Guys, make some noise!
Esther Malipard, the right fielder. Malipard yesterday against France was 0 for 2, but she did score 2 runs and drive in another, drawing 2 walks. So runner at first and third. We'll see if the runners are in action. That pitch is taken down and away for ball 1.
Et je peux y aller là, je vais entre les deux matchs, je vais aller rendre du matériel. Et je pourrais m'arrêter. Le matériel.
So the 1-0 pitch is down for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, no outs. Runner at first and third here in the top of the 3rd inning. So Harai working herself into a bit of a jam here for Great Britain as that pitch is taken for a strike. However, the Dutch runner will steal second base and advance 90 feet. Runner at third does not advance. So runner at second and third, nobody out. It's 2-1 count. And time is called by the Dutch hitter, as if to say, come on, throw the pitch. The infield is in for Great Britain. They do not want to concede that run. And the pitch is grounded sharply to third base and fielded. The runner is holding at third, and the throw is on to first for the first out of the inning. So good job by the British third baseman. She's been solid all day. Yeah, she really knows what she's doing over there at the hot corner. That's not an easy play, but she made it look pretty easy. Fielding the ground ball, checking the runner at third, and then throwing on to first for the out. So 1 down, and stepping up to the plate for Netherlands, Charities Stravers. The left fielder is 1 for 1 today. Another base hit could give the Dutch the lead. That pitch is swung on and fouled. Foul ball. As the runners did not quite hear the tick of the ball against the metal bat, but it was fouled. Good job by the Czech home plate umpire signaling foul ball right away. Stravers, as we saw yesterday, is an aggressive batter. She likes to put the ball in play up the middle. And that pitch is taken down for a ball. It looked like an off-speed pitch. And the British fans wanted that pitch to be called a strike. It's interesting to see and hear the different accents at the ballpark. You hear fans heckling or cheering on their team, but in British accents or Dutch accents. And that pitch is high for ball 2. So the count runs to 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out here in the top of the 3rd with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Still 1-0 for Great Britain. Hirai is up to 48 pitches already. And that curveball is high for a ball. So the count runs to 3-1. And this is really the ideal situation if you're the Netherlands. If you could have bases loaded with your 3 and 4 hitters coming up to the plate, you would take that. And that pitch is high for ball 4. So bases are loaded here with 1 out for the Dutch. And stepping up to the bat, Aanslag, as they say in Dutch, Sasha Egas, the shortstop. Egas played in the 2016 Women's Baseball World Cup for Holland. She was 0 for 3 yesterday against France, but did score a run. And the Great Britain catcher just went to the mound and had a quick chat with the starting pitcher, maybe giving her a little break, as it is quite hot here in Montpellier. Telling her to regroup, settle in, and focus, because these next 2 hitters are going to be really crucial to the outcome of the game. So Harai comes set and fires in there. That ball is grounded up the middle to the shortstop, who fields and throws on to first base nicely for the out. However, a runner does come home for Netherlands, tying the game at 1. So great play by the British shortstop to come in and at least get 1 out and kill any potential rally, any big rally for the Netherlands. And you can hear the Dutch fans making some noise here for their cleanup hitter, Anouk Vergunst. And there is a base open here. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. And that ball is driven to right field and in there for a single. And 1 run will score and 2 runs will score for Netherlands. Another big hit by Vergunst, who's clearly been the Dutch's best hitter so far in the tournament. You wonder, if you're Great Britain, if you shouldn't have put her on in that situation. There was a base open. Vergunst is the cleanup hitter. She's been the best hitter for the Dutch. If you could go back and maybe put Vergunst on in that situation and force an out at any base with 2 outs, maybe you would redo that one. In any case, great hit by Vergunst. Good base running by the Dutch runners to score. So 3-1 Netherlands with 2 outs and a runner at first base. So there's a little bit of action in the British bullpen down the first base line. Looks like a right-handed pitcher is warming up. Laura was doing a great job. She really was. She is up to 52 pitches and has walked 4 hitters. But she was doing a good job getting out of jams. So you want to give her maybe 1 last hitter or 2 here to see if she can get out of the inning. That pitch is in there for strike 1. And that pitch is just outside. Just outside. That looked like a good pitch. A good pitcher's pitch on the outside corner. As the Dutch third base coach flashes the signs. He's quite a charismatic third base coach, I would say. He's got the bright sunglasses on. And he likes to give signs. He gives signs even when there's 2 outs and nobody on base. That pitch is grounded to third, fielded nicely again by the British third baseman, and thrown on to first. So she's been a brick wall over there. You cannot get a ball by her. And after 2.5, Netherlands 3, Great Britain 1. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We're heading into the bottom of the third inning. Netherlands lead Great Britain by the score of 3-1. For the Dutch, Zoe Lagweg continues on the mound. She's up to 48 pitches through 2 innings, but has not yet conceded a hit. And stepping up to the batter's box for Great Britain is number 5. Dora Lau. Dora Lau is the shortstop. Sorry. She drove in 3 runs yesterday against Czech Republic and is 0 for 1 so far in today's game. And that pitch is swung on and fouled back. Good swing by the shortstop. She's got a nice, short, compact stroke. And that pitch is grounded sharply to second base, fielded by the Dutch second baseman, and thrown on to first for the first out of the inning.
Attack for Great Britain. Steve Malone.
And stepping up to the plate for Great Britain is Didi Malone, the third baseman. So she's been a wall. She's been a wall at third base and swings at the first pitch, popping it up, and no one seems to see it, and that ball will fall back near the backstop for strike 1. Yeah, so the catcher didn't see that ball. The pitcher was trying to point it out to her, but it was a little bit too late. And you can hear Didi Malone talking to the cleanup hitter, Chloe Scatliff, and she's saying, let the ball travel a little bit. Wait for it a little bit. She's out in front of the ball. And she takes that pitch high for a ball. Yeah, Malone yesterday had quite a game against Czech Republic, scoring 3 and driving in 3 more. And that pitch is high. So the 3-4 hitters for Great Britain from the Virgin Islands. So 3-1, 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. And Malone takes that pitch in there for a strike. She doesn't agree. She thought that was a little bit inside, but she'll have another chance as the count runs full. The outfield is playing quite deep against Malone, and that pitch is high for ball 4. So a good at bat by Malone, working the count full and drawing a walk. And bringing up to the plate the left fielder, Scatliff. Scatliff has scored a run so far in today's ball game. And that pitch is high and away for ball 1. So Lagweg has thrown 58 pitches, of which 28 are strikes. She's walked 4 and struck out 2. Through 2 1/3. And that pitch is taken for strike 1, run in, count 2, 1-1. And that pitch is swung on and lifted to the third baseman, who makes the catch for out number 2. So good pitch by Lagweg. Fastball tailing away. Stepping up to the batter's box is the right fielder, Antonia Ferguson. Ferguson came in for Rose Banji. Yesterday against Czech Republic. She scored 2 runs and drove in 2 more. So that pitch is in there for a strike, evening count at 1 ball and 1 strike. With 2 down here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Still 3-1 for Netherlands. A base hit here, especially in the gaps, could bring Malone in to score. Malone has good speed at first base, and that pitch is down and away for ball 2. And that pitch is down for ball 3. So you can hear the Dutch fans down the first baseline with their horns, and you can recognize them from a mile away with their typical orange hats, orange shirts, orange everything. Yesterday during the pregame introductions against France, they even had the orange smoke clouds out in the right field. So they make their presence felt. So runners at first and second after another walk. And the center fielder, Gabriella Sassoli, takes ball 1 high and away. Sassoli had a double in yesterday's game and drew 4 walks. So she's been around European baseball for quite a bit, as her stats go back to 2015 in the Italian Coppa Italia League. And that pitch is high for yet another ball. So we have some double barrel action down in the bullpen. 1 British pitcher and 1 Dutch pitcher, as Lagweg nears the 70 pitch mark. And that pitch is inside. So 3-1 with 2 outs. It looked like this inning was going to go rather smoothly for the Dutch, and then Lagweg walked Malone and the number 5 hitter. And yet another walk. So 3 consecutive walks here for the Dutch pitcher. Load the bases for Great Britain with Kelly Wright stepping to the plate. And that will draw another visit from the Dutch pitching coach. And it looks like that's going to be it for the starter Lagweg, who did not give up a hit through 2 2/3. She did walk 6, however, and will exit the contest after having thrown 70 pitches. But will exit with a 3-1 lead. So, round of applause for Zoe. Good job.
On the mound for Netherlands, Jessica Antoinette Maria Benbogen.
So now pitching for Netherlands is Maria Velborden, number 22, another lefty. So big situation here for the Dutch. Velborn played in the Women's Baseball World Cup in 2016 and also in 2014 and 2018. So she's a veteran, I guess you could say, to women's baseball.
Amy, what's your surname? You got a yeah, but I mean, do you have a nickname?
The best person alive. No, I'm kidding.
The best person in life?
I don't know, that's what my mom says. My other siblings hate it.
So a little bit of a light moment here in Montpellier as the British batter, who's taking her on deck cuts, her hacks in the on deck circle.
With the biggest heart we have ever had on the field, Amy Trask, number 23. Make some noise.
Well, you guys heard it. She said that her nickname is the best person alive.
Kitty Wright.
Oh no. So back pick to first base gets away, and all the runners will move up 90 feet, and Great Britain will get a run, their second run of the day on the board. So a bit of an ambitious play by the Dutch catcher there, throwing behind the runner to first base. The ball got by the first baseman, Vergunst, and all the runners moved up, including Malone, who scored the second run of the day for Great Britain. So runners at second and third, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the third, Netherlands still lead 3-2. And the pitch is swung on and missed for the second strike. So good job by Maria coming in and throwing strikes right away. That's not easy in a bases loaded situation. And that pitch is swung on and grounded to third base. The Dutch third baseman comes in, fields, and throws to first for the third out of the inning. And that will do it for the third inning. After 3, Great Britain 2 and Netherlands 3. coming to hit. We'll be right back. Et on est de retour ici à Montpellier pour le début de 4e manche. Nouvelle lanceuse pour l'Angleterre, Mariana Casal.
At bat for Netherlands, number 18, Magali Leroy.
We're back in Montpellier with a new pitcher on for Great Britain, Mariana Casal. So that wraps up the day for the British starter, Laura Hirai, who threw 3 innings, giving up 2 hits, surrendering 3 runs, all earned, walking 4, striking out 1 on 54 pitches. So good job by Laura. She kept her team in the game.
Let's get back to the game.
And now batting for Netherlands, the third baseman, Magali De Rui. Magali made a nice play at third base to end the last half inning. So we'll see if she can carry that confidence into the batter's box and get on board for the Dutch. So the first pitch is low and off the catcher's mask for ball 1. And there's a timeout called here. It looks like something to do with the lineups. The Great Britain coach comes out with his lineup card and asks the Czech umpire for a minute of his time. And the Czech umpire is going to come back to the scorer's booth and check the lineups. Looks like there may be an error. No, we're all good. So back to the action. And the British pitcher looks in for the signs. She says, "Yep, I'm ready." And delivers the pitch, which is low for ball 2. And that can be a hard thing coming in from the bullpen where there's limited pressure into the ball game, where all of a sudden you have hundreds of people staring right at you and a batter 60 feet away and an umpire and everything else that goes along with it. Sometimes throwing strikes in the bullpen is a lot easier than throwing strikes in the game. And there we go. So first strike of the afternoon for the new British pitcher. And that pitch is swung on and fouled for strike 2. So the count runs to 2-2. Again, game reset. We're in the top of the 4th inning. 3-2 Netherlands. Nobody on, nobody out. 2-2. A win here for the Netherlands would keep them alive in the tournament. And a win here for Great Britain would just about qualify them for the final. And for those of you interested in coming down or continuing to follow the action online, there's another game tonight at 5 p.m. local time, 11 a.m. Eastern time in the U.S., France versus Czech Republic. And tomorrow's the last day of pool play, so there will be another game at 11 a.m. tomorrow and another afternoon contest at 5 p.m. before Saturday's championship final, which is at 1 p.m. local time. And if you really haven't had enough baseball, there's the Division I semifinals Saturday. Game 3 between the local Barracudas de Montpellier and the Rouen Huskies. Right here in Montpellier on the same field. And I think we've got a balk called. It was either a balk or a stolen base, but either way the result is the same. The Dutch runner will move up 90 feet to second base with nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. So Natalie Schindler waits for the pitch, and that's a strike on the outside corner. The Dutch catcher is coming to bat for the second time today. Schindler's done a good job calling the game behind the plate for Holland. And that pitch is taken down and away for a ball. So both teams wearing gray pants today. Great Britain with the navy blue top and cap, and Netherlands with the black top and black cap. And that pitch is taken down and away for a ball. So this could be an inning where the Dutch break the game open should they score a run or two. And you can hear the Dutch players in their dugout rooting on their teammate. And she hits one down to third base, and that's not where you want to hit the ball. And wow, another great play by Malone, the British third baseman, as she checks the runner back to second before throwing on to first for the out. I think if there was a gold glove for the tournament, she would win it. Yeah, she really looks like she knows what she's doing at the hot corner. Almost daring the hitters to hit it by her. So stepping into the box is the center fielder, Wendy Blatt. She takes ball 1 down and away. Blatt still looking for her first hit of the tournament, but she has drawn a walk today. She did also score a run earlier in the game for Netherlands. And that curveball is swung through and missed, but it does get by the catcher, so the Dutch runner will move up 90 feet to third base and 90 feet closer to scoring the 4th run of the game for Holland. So Mariana looks in for the signs. She lifts her leg and delivers a ball high for ball 2. 2-1 to count, 1 out, top of the 4th inning. Runner at third base. The infield is in for Great Britain. They do not want to concede a 4th run to Holland. So we'll see what happens on a ground ball, if the Dutch are going to send the runner on contact or if they're going to wait for the ball to get through the infield. With 1 out, typically you send the runner. It's what you call the contact play. As soon as the ball is hit, the runner goes, assuming it's on the ground, of course. And that pitch is swung through and missed by number 27. So while Blatt has not yet recorded a hit in the 2 games, she has played a great center field. She's really anchored that Dutch defense out in the outfield. And she pops that one up foul, and that one will fall harmlessly right in front of the backstop. So full count now. And that pitch is taken high for ball 4. So Netherlands threatening with runners at first and third and 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. And that brings to the plate the number 9 hitter for Netherlands, Nikki Groenmans, who's scored a run today. She's 0 for 0. So what does that mean? Well, 1 walk and 1 stolen base too. And the runner's off, and she will make it easily into second base. Great jump by the center fielder, Blatt. As soon as the pitcher lifted her leg, she was off. So base hit here by Netherlands would score 2 and push the score to 5-2. Should Groenmans be able to come through here in the clutch. And that pitch is down for a ball. 2-0. And that pitch is outside for another ball, so the count runs to 3 balls and no strikes. Should Gromans get on, that would bring to the plate the leadoff hitter, Malipard. And that pitch is high as well. So a little bit of a problem for the Great Britain bullpen coming in here and throwing strikes. And the British coach will come have a chat with his pitcher. Bases are loaded for the Dutch with the leadoff hitter up to bat and 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. 3-2 for Holland. No. See. All right, we're back. And that pitch is down for a ball. So you have to be really patient here if you're the Dutch hitter after having seen the back-to-back walks. Third base coach flashes the signs, puts 2 hands up with a 1, showing the base runners that there's 1 out. Very, very, very big lead for the Dutch runners on the bases. The runner at second base is literally halfway between second and third as the British infield is in. And that pitch is in there for a strike. So a base hit here would score at least 2 runs and potentially even 3 should it hit a gap. You'd almost consider doing a pickoff play if you're Great Britain here with the Dutch base runner right about behind the shortstop, halfway between second and third. And that pitch is in there for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, bases loaded. And the British fans have become silent. We can hear the Dutch horns. And that pitch is swung on and missed. So a big pitch right there. Runs the count to 2-2. If you're Great Britain here, you need a ground ball or a strikeout. Two balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch is high for ball 3. So full count, bases loaded, 1 out. If you're Great Britain, you almost want her to hit the ball to the third baseman Malone, who's made all the plays today. And that pitch is outside for ball 4, which will walk in a run. The 4th Dutch run of the day comes across to score. And that will just about do it for the British pitcher. So Mariana had a little bit of a hard time throwing strikes, but it's a pressure situation, and it's easier said than done. Good job by the Netherlands being patient and making her work. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Montpellier. So I discovered today that you can cut the audio on the microphone during innings, which is pretty handy actually. Yesterday I was like doing sign language to try to talk to people. So you learn something every day.
Come on, everybody,
Merci.
make some noise for Bossy!
So third pitcher of the afternoon on for the British is De La Paz. This is her first game action of the tournament for number 3, De La Paz. And stepping into the batter's box is the left fielder, Cherise Stravers. Bases are loaded. And that pitch gets behind Stravers and to the backstop, and the runners will move up 90 feet. And yet another run scores for Netherlands. So that's the 5th run of the day for Netherlands. And little by little, they're breaking this game open. So, big situation here for the Dutch. Stravers wants to make her throw a strike. And that pitch is in there for a strike. So De La Paz, you wouldn't compare her to Aroldis Chapman with her velocity, but effective nonetheless. And that pitch is swung on and missed. De La Paz took something off that pitch and located it well on the outside corner. Gave a little fist pump at the end. No pause. And a pickoff attempt to third base to try to get the Great Britain team an easy out, to steal an out, you would say. So you don't see pickoff attempts to third base very much. But then again, you don't see a baseball field without grass very much. And that pitch is taken outside to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're stuck at 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning, and the Netherlands have little by little started to break this game open. They've really made the British pitchers work, and if they haven't thrown strikes, well, they haven't helped them out. They've taken their walks and moved up base by base, station by station baseball. And that pitch is high for ball 3, so the count runs full here to Stravers. On deck is the shortstop, Sasha Egas. And looming in the hole is the first baseman, Anouk Vergunst. So this game could get lopsided quickly. And that's a hit by pitch. It was either ball 4 or hit by pitch. So as much as a game can seem to break open and get lopsided quickly, one must remember that there was no 10-run limit. So if the Dutch can do it against the British can do it against the Dutch. It all depends on the pitching. Pitching really is the name of the game. And that pitch is down for ball 1. Blocked nicely by the British catcher. And the Dutch fans get the Holland chant going. Holland. And that pitch is down for ball 2.
Come on, Kiwi, make some noise for your pitcher.
So De La Paz has come in and thrown 8 pitches, of which 2 have been strikes. And that's the 9th one inside for ball 3. And that's ball 4. So runners will move up, and another run crosses the plate, the 6th Dutch run, making the score 6-2. And that pitch is in there for a strike to Vergunst. Vergunst is 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs today and a walk. Yesterday she had 3 more RBIs against France. So this is exactly the situation you want as a Dutch fan. Vergunst up with the bases loaded. And that's ball. And gets by the catcher to the backstop. And the 7th Dutch run will come across the score. So this is unraveling rather quickly for Great Britain. That being said, it's a 5-run game. And Great Britain scored 27 runs yesterday against the Czech Republic. So they're still within striking distance. There are 3 more innings left in this game. So 9 more outs to get. Sorry, the British will have 4 more trips to the plate, so 12 more outs to get for Netherlands. As that pitch sails high over Vergunst, and another run will come across the score for Netherlands, pushing the score to 8-2. So the bullpen has had a little bit of a hard time coming in for Great Britain and throwing strikes. And it's tough to watch because it was a close game up until they took out the starting pitcher. So 2-1 the count. And that pitch is low and gets by the catcher yet again, clearing the bases of all runners and pushing the score to 9-2. Well, the Dutch can say thank you wel, to the British bullpen. And that's taken low and away for ball 4. So Vergunst will reach with 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. The score is Netherlands 9, Great Britain 2. And we're going to have another visit to the mound by the British manager. We will be right back. Welcome back to Montpellier. We have a new pitcher on for Great Britain, and she throws her first pitch for a strike. So Dora Lau is on to pitch. She was playing shortstop for the British. So quick reset here. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Runner at first base with 1 out. And the score is Netherlands 9, Great Britain 2. The count is 2-1 to the Dutch hitter number 35, Kara Van Henderden. Kara or Kira? Maybe Kira. And that pitch sails high and gets by the catcher to the backstop. And the Dutch runner Vergoest will move up 90 feet to second base and move into scoring position.
Bring it back, go, let's go, Clark, let's go!
So another walk for the Dutch. And that has been the Achilles heel of the Great Britain pitching staff today. That's the 11th walk of the contest, and we're in the 4th inning. And there's a strike. There's a strike from the pitcher Dora Lau. Hitting for the Dutch is third baseman Magali de Roy. So Dora Lau keeps the runner close at second base. And that pitch is down and away and gets by the catcher. And both runners will move up 90 feet into scoring position for Netherlands. So there's always a time in a baseball game or an inning like this. And if you're on the field for one of these innings, it seems like it never ends. It seems like it never ends, but eventually it does. And the important thing is to come back in the dugout with a positive attitude and start over again. Just try to work each at bat, pitch by pitch, at bat by at bat, and claw your way back into the game. That's all you can do. And that pitch is in there for a strike. So Dora looks like she knows what she's doing on the mound. She's got a nice motion, fluid. She's got a little bit of zip on the ball. As I said, she was the shortstop yesterday and through the first 3 innings of today's game. So she definitely has a good arm. And there's a curveball in there for strike 3. Great pitch by Dora. Good curveball. And that pitch is in there for a strike.
Ça va, tu gères, c'est très bien. Je te prends un petit savoir aussi. Je te prends un petit savoir. Super, merci beaucoup.
And so, game reset. Runners at second and third. 2 outs. 0-2 here in the top of the fourth inning. Netherlands 9. Great Britain 2. And that ball is up and in. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in sunny Montpellier. The temperature is getting up there. I can tell you, we're in the shade, and I can't imagine what it would be like to be on the field right now. It's got to be up around 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 31, 32 degrees Celsius. But on the turf, in the sun, you can add a good 3 or 4 degrees to that. So there's not much wind here today. Yesterday was a little bit windier. Today it looks like it's blowing lightly in from left field, which would mean it's a southerly wind, which explains why it doesn't feel any cooler. And there's strike 3, swung on a miss. So good job by Dora coming in and getting out of that jam. But the Netherlands score a couple, and heading into the bottom of the fourth, it's Netherlands 9, Great Britain 2. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Montpellier. We're going into the bottom of the fourth inning. And batting for Great Britain is Amy Trask. And that first pitch is in there for a strike. Still pitching for Netherlands is Maria Velborden. She came on in relief of Zoe Lagwig. And that curveball is in there for strike two. Good pitch by the Dutch lefty. Call those knee bucklers. Knee bucklers because the batter's knees buckle. They flinch when they see the curveball. And there's another one, but it's pulled foul and out of play, out of the stadium. So the 0-2 pitch is on the way, and that's outside. Looked like a changeup. So in these tournaments, when you get ahead by quite a few runs, you start, playing out the different scenarios, trying to save pitchers for the next day or an eventual final. And it's always a balancing act between who do you save and who do you put on the field to actually wrap the game up without letting another team come back. All right, one away. One out. And now batting is Caitlin Frank. Caitlin's doing the catching today. And that curveball is down and away for ball one. So it's 1:15 p.m. We started at 11 a.m. That's 2 hours and 15 minutes of ball game. So far, we're in the fourth inning. And that pitch is up and in for ball two. Reminder that our second game this afternoon will start at 5 p.m. local time or 11 a.m. Eastern time for those of you following in the U.S. and Canada. And there's a strike. And there's a ball outside. So the count runs to 2 balls and 1 strike. So yesterday we talked a little bit about the French Division 1. We mentioned that Melissa Maillot, a French women player, had played briefly for Montpellier in the Division 1, which was a boys' or men's league up until that point. They made an exception for her. Well, it's not an exception because any women can do it if they have the talent to. Melissa's now playing in the U.S. in a professional softball league after having finished her 4 years of college at University of Louisiana Lafayette, which was a top 25 ranked program. And so let's talk more about men's baseball and compare these 4 nations. So Netherlands obviously have had a lot of success, tremendous success in Europe and even at the world stage in the World Baseball Cup, winning it back in 2011 against Cuba before that event transitioned into the World Baseball Classic, in which they've had a lot of success. For the casual baseball fans out there, you guys know certain players like Andrew Jones, Kenley Jansen, Didi Gregorius, the Red Sox shortstop Xander Bogaerts. All those are Dutch players who play for the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Great Britain has had relative success as well. And most recently, obviously, the MLB has played 2 big league games in London when the Red Sox and Yankees squared off in 2019. Great Britain taps into a lot of dual citizens from North America, mainly United States and Canada. They also have some players originating from the Caribbean and the Virgin Islands. Tonight's matchup, Czech Republic and France. Czech Republic has had really good results recently in European competition on the men's side. They've sent a Czech born and raised player, Martin Cervenka, all the way up to AAA. He almost made it to the major leagues last year. He's now back in Prague playing in the Czech Republic this summer. France is competing in the World Baseball Classic qualifiers in a month. They will be heading to Regensburg, Germany, in the hopes of qualifying for next year's World Baseball Classics. They are managed by Bruce Bochy, the former Padres and Giants skipper, who has over 2,000 wins in Major League Baseball. So they're managed by Bruce Bochy in the World Baseball Classic events. However, in France, they're managed by Kano Perez. Kano is the longtime player and manager of the Rouen Huskies. So Kano's now in Toulouse with the National Academy and with the national team. So France has yet to send a player to the major leagues. However, we have one currently in the minor leagues who's in high A, Ernesto Martinez Jr. So, saludos, Ernesto, if you're watching. Good luck the rest of the season. And the highest any French player ever made it was AA when Andy Paz, who was a longtime catcher for the national team and here in the French league, made it to AA with the Oakland A's organization. So, saludos, Andy. And we're going to take a little break here as the grounds crew fixes the field. We'll be right back. On est de retour ici à Montpellier. We're back in Montpellier. That was the 5th inning stretch. So, what happens when it's so hot out and you play on a dirt field is that the dirt gets really, really hard. So you have to water it. And then when you water it, you have to make sure there aren't any puddles or spots on the infield which are too wet. So that explains the break. So we're back now. We're ready to play. The field looks good. It's a little water break for both teams as well. And yeah, the temperature is now 34 degrees Celsius or 92 Fahrenheit. And that curveball is in there for a strike. So that's what we want to see, some strikes here. And a new pitcher on for Great Britain, Jess Vernon. So welcome to the game, Jess. And that pitch is just a bit outside. To the Dutch center fielder, number 27, Wendy Blatt. Wendy has scored twice today. She's drawn a pair of walks and stolen 3 bases, so speedy player. And that pitch is in there for a strike. Yeah, you can imagine the umpire zone is getting a little bigger as we approach the 3-hour mark in the 5th inning. And that pitch is just a bit high. And that pitch is high again. Yeah, so Wendy's a patient hitter too. She's not going to go out of her zone to help the pitcher out. And that's the mark of a good hitter, even in a lopsided game, is just to not give away at-bats. You often hear that term, I gave away that at-bat, to kind of take yourself out of your approach based off of the score. And there's a walk for Wendy as she sprints down the first. That ball gets all the way to the backstop, but Wendy will stop at first base.
For Netherlands, number 29, Nikki Romans.
And that brings to the plate number 29, Nikki Romans. And Nikki also has drawn a pair of walks and scored twice. So some good production out of the 8 and 9 spots of the Dutch order. That's the mark of a solid team. And that pitch is high and inside. So stolen base by Wendy Blatt. Now, if this were a major league game, stealing up 9-2 would be frowned upon, but here it's totally acceptable. As we mentioned yesterday in yesterday's game, these teams have not played a lot together. So they all gathered here 3 or 4 days before the start of this tournament for 2 or 3 days of practices. But for the most part, this is the first time they've played together all year, and for some clubs in several years, especially due to COVID. And that pitch is swung on and fouled back to the backstop. Good swing by Romans. Good job by Jess Vernon attacking the zone. And that pitch is swung on and the dribble down to first base, touched by the first baseman in fair territory, and she recovers to tag out Gromans for the out. So a good job to recover, stay calm, and make the play by the first baseman.
Come on, TV, come on, Netherlands, make some noise for the players!
And the fans are getting a little rowdy here in Montpellier. It's almost beer o'clock. Strike one. Step off by the British pitcher. So runner at third. One out here in the top of the fifth. Netherlands 9, Great Britain 2. And yeah, you can hear the British fans getting on the umpire now. And honestly, I don't blame them. That looked like a good pitch, and this is a long game. At some point, you got to open up the zone. And we got a balk called and a swing, so they're going to play this pitch unless she's out, and she's out. So now we're going to have the umpires get together and ask Netherlands what they want to do. Do they want to accept the run and the out, or do they want to balk? So the batter will come back and hit because a balk is better than a ground out, and the runner from third will come home anyways on the balk. So that's a really interesting rule, actually, so we'll talk about it. So if a balk is called as the pitch is being thrown, the hitter actually has the choice of swinging at the pitch and accepting a positive outcome. For example, if the hitter were to hit a home run or a double. However, if this hitter swings and, let's say, misses the pitch or pops it up or something like that, then the team can go back and accept the balk call. So it's kind of like a pick your positive outcome. So when you hear balk and the pitcher's still throwing the ball, you may as well swing at it because you can get a base hit. And at the very least, if you get out or you don't hit the ball, it'll be a balk. And that actually happened in Division 1 a few weeks ago with Ariel Soriano, one of Montpellier's better hitters. There was a balk called. The pitcher threw the ball to the plate, and he hit a double down the line. And, well, he took the double. And that pitch is fouled back to the backstop. So Netherlands has tacked on another run, pushing the score to 10-2 here in the fifth inning. As the Let's Go Holland chants break out down the first baseline, there's some action in the bullpen. Looks like a Dutch pitcher warming up. Maybe the closer. And that pitch is swung through and missed for the strikeout. So that's the second out of the inning. Did somebody say finally? That's the second out of the inning. And stepping to the box is the left fielder, Charity Stravers. So we got some Yankees fans in the house. Off to the left here, two young ladies with a Judge and a Rodriguez shirt. That would be Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod. And you all know who Judge is. Ball just a bit high. And that pitch is swung on and popped up. And that will be a foul ball. Foul ball, as that ball landed in foul territory, just beyond the reach of the catcher's glove. And yes, that is a lefty catcher, in case you're just joining us. So you don't see too many lefty catchers in baseball. But then again, you don't see too many baseball fields without grass. And the pitch is, just a bit high. I think he wanted to call that. He flinched. The check umpire flinched. He wanted to call that pitch. Well, this game has crawled to a snail's pace. The pace has really slowed down the last two innings. And there's a hit by pitch. So going back to talk about the men's national programs for these four countries, the Netherlands have already qualified for next year's World Baseball Classic after having made the semifinals in 2017, in which they bowed out against Puerto Rico in Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Great Britain will be in the pool alongside Czech Republic and France. So all these four countries will be represented in at least the qualifying stages of the World Baseball Classic. And that qualifier will take place from September 16th through 20th in Regensburg, Germany, at Armin Wolf Arena Stadium, home of the Regensburg Legionnaire. And there's a stolen base. And the umpire says there was an attempt to hit it. So the qualifying group in Regensburg will be composed of 6 teams, of which 2 will move on to March 2023's official tournament. And that official tournament will be held in 4 different locations. 2 in the United States, in Miami and Phoenix, Arizona. 1 pool will be in Taiwan, and the other will be in Tokyo, Japan. In their last World Baseball Classic qualifier appearance, France went 1-2 in Panama City in 2016, beating Spain but falling to Panama twice at Rod Crew National Stadium in Panama. And meanwhile, the Dutch have mounted yet another rally with runners at first and third, and another balk is called. So that's the 11th Dutch run that will cross home plate, and we'll have a runner at second base with 2 outs. And the Great Britain manager has seen enough, I think, from the umpiring crew. He's going to go have a chat with the French umpires, the French base umpires, sorry. And he's probably saying, hey, it's 11-2. It's hot out. Why are we calling balks? No, he's probably asking why it was a balk, and then the umpire probably said she never came to a stop. So Vergunst up to bat, the Dutch cleanup hitter, and she lines one to center field. And another Dutch run will come across to score as the ball gets away from the center fielder briefly. And Holland pushed the score to 12-2 here in the 5th inning. So now would be a good time to have a 10-run rule. And timeout is called, as it looks like we're going to have another pitching change for Great Britain. So we'll be right back.
partners. Thank you all.
All right, we're back. And the first pitch is down and away. So new pitcher on for Great Britain. It's the 6th British pitcher, Rebecca Cottrell. And the Dutch have a runner on first base, up 12-2 here in the 5th inning. And that pitch is swung on and missed. Pickoff throw to first is not in time. Aanslag voor Nederland. Kira van Hinderen. My Dutch is getting better. And that pitch is high. So we need one more out here to get back into the shade if we're Great Britain. They've literally been out in the sun for at least 30 minutes. And that's going to be another walk.
Number 18 for Netherlands.
J'ai cru que je voulais faire un plan, mais au final, dès qu'il y a eu des bus, là-bas. C'est une nouvelle, mais.
So interesting fact in today's game is that the Great Britain team, after having scored 27 runs yesterday, has not produced a single base hit in today's game. They have scored 2 runs, but they have not yet gotten a base hit. And that happens, right? Sometimes you score a lot of runs, and the next day you just come out flat. Or some days it's the opposite, right? You just can't seem to buy a hit, and then the next day everything's going your way. And that's baseball. Another ball up and in. And there's a strike. And there's another ball. So yet another walk for the Dutch. And that will load the bases with 2 outs. Well, are we going to have enough time to finish this game? Next game starts in 3 hours and 10 minutes. But at this pace, it's going to be close. 1 and 2 here, 2 outs in the 5th inning, 12-2 Netherlands with bases loaded. And you can hear the British fans saying, "Ring her up." Yeah, I have to say, I agree. And there we are. Wow. We will be back.
Thank you. Back on the mound for Netherlands, Jiska Antoinette Maria Benmoren.
On est de retour ici à Montpellier. On attaque la fin de la 5e manche. Le score est de 12-2 en faveur des Pays-Bas. Alors, n'oubliez pas que ce soir à 17h jouera la France contre la République tchèque. La France qui est managée par Lassen Benamida a gagné hier en fin de 7e manche en walk-off, comme on dit, contre les Pays-Bas. Et donc avec une victoire ce soir, se qualifiera pour la finale. La finale qui aura lieu samedi à 13h, qui sera suivie du match 3 entre la demi-finale de Rouen et Montpellier. Ici à Montpellier sur le même terrain. Et ça, ce match aura lieu à 17h. And that pitch is grounded back to the pitcher, who steps and throws to first base, but it's dropped. It's dropped by the first baseman. So that throw is a little bit up the line. Good job by Vergoots just catching the ball with the runner and the ball coming in at the same time, but she could not hold on. So Great Britain have the leadoff runner at first base with nobody out. And Malone steps to the box, the third baseman. From back here, it almost looked like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the bat. Uh-oh. Got her. Picked off, down 12-2. Good pickoff. She had her leaning. So good pickoff move by the Dutch lefty, making up for allowing the leadoff hitter to reach base by picking her off. And that's kind of how the game's going if you're a Great Britain fan. You get a runner on and get picked off. Some days are like that. And that pitch is in there for a strike. And that pitch is also in there for a strike. A good curveball, which came back down on the outer half of the plate. And Malone is not happy with that call. So you can expect her to be swinging at anything close. And she was ready. She was ready to hack. Malone's played a tremendous third base today. And she was swinging, fouling that one back. She has a word with the number 4 hitter who's on deck saying, I need to stay back, but I wanted that one. She wanted to hack at that pitch. And there we go. Lines it to third base, but caught by the Dutch third baseman. Wow. So a good piece of hitting, but an even better play down to the hot corner. She reached up and snared that line drive. And so that'll bring up the British cleanup hitter, Scatliffe, who has a run scored today. But first we'll get a pitching change. And the Dutch are bringing in a righty out of the bullpen. We'll be right back.
ils ont fait un tête tête, ils ont poussé, c'est pas c'est pas organisé d'ailleurs, c'est juste après. Il y avait Jonathan Bass. Jonathan Bass, c'est la personne qui passe.
Ouais. Oui. Now,
Au même moment où.
Now at that
Oui,
for
mais
Great
voilà,
Britain.
Number
Number 24, Boris Gatlin.
So new pitcher on hand for the Dutch, Simone Willems. Simone making her first appearance in the tournament for the Dutch. So 2 outs, nobody on base. And the cleanup hitter, Scatliff, up to bat for Great Britain. Takes ball 1 high. Scatliff also from the Virgin Islands. The British Virgin Islands. And that pitch is in there on the outside half for a strike. And that pitch is swung through and foul tipped into the catcher's glove for strike 2. Yeah, and Scatliff saying, let the ball travel. She's telling herself that. Wait for the pitch. She's got a quick bat. And that pitch is high, evening the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. 12-2 in favor of the Dutch. Dutch coming out to play today after a tough loss yesterday to France. And that pitch is swung on and missed. And so that will end the 5th inning. We'll be back for the 6th after this break. And we are back because that's the end of the game. Apparently there is a 10-run rule. So final score, Netherlands 12, Great Britain 2 after 5 complete. We'll be back tonight at 5 p.m. local time for France versus Czech Republic. Until then, enjoy your afternoon et au revoir.
Ramène un autre casque, Stéphane.
Il y aura un autre casque?
17h, il va rentrer là.
Recharger les batteries.
Tu rentres, Véro? Ouais, on va aller faire un tour à la piscine.
Stay with us.
Non, moi je reste.
See you at 5 p.m. for France, Czech Republic.
Non, moi je vais rester. Je vais essayer de comprendre un peu parce que sinon c'est pas comment. Non, mais moi je vais le faire.
C'est celles qui ont gagné.
Ah, ok. Je peux pas en faire sans savoir. Les vêtements, tu vois,
Check out WBSC Europe YouTube channel to see the game live.
Allez, je passe sur le très large. Stop. Position très large. Ok, c'est bon.
Normalement, faut mettre.
T'as pas une petite cube à passer?
La plus grosse playlist qui est là-dedans, c'est Barracuda Friendly Ambiance parce que sinon il va râler Jean-Luc. S'il est là, Jean-Luc, je vais mettre celle à Barracuda Bibliothèque.
Ah, bah oui. Je sais pas si c'est.
Oui, c'est 3 minutes.
Attends, ouais, fais gaffe, ça va faire mal.
Parce qu'on va ressortir, ça nous fera un peu ressortir. Là, je vais la sortir.
Est-ce qu'il y en a qui veulent un peu d'eau comme ça? Non, ça va?
Merci, ça va.
Par contre, je mange bien.
On
Bonne bière.
oui. Absolument.
Tu veux une bière là?
On va les manger.
Bah, faut boire une bière d'abord.
Tu veux que je meure?
Tu veux que je te fasse, c'est ça?
Non, je sais pas.
Déjà le soir, je suis